I want the viewer to be excited by a thing that is multi-perspectival, that is really multi-dimensional in painting, and to experience all these different perspectives, and by doing so, having a really strong sense of transformation. My name is Katharina Grosse. We are here at White Cube Bermondsey at my solo show, I Set Out, I Walked Fast. There is no specific way to interact with it, but the fun and the joy, and I think the exciting thing is to really find your own way of understanding the works. I read Jane Eyre when I was in New Zealand this winter, sitting almost on a cliff with very, very intense weathers, and this kind of directness that the weather has on my perception of the world. And then I was reading this amazing novel with a person that is very, very direct, very clear of her longing for freedom, for independence. And there is an urgency, she can't put it off. Thinking and doing and acting are very, very much the same thing for me. I don't make sketches. There is no filter or negotiation happening between my instant urge to visualize something. When I paint in a studio or in a gallery, that is very similar in the process. What I find out when I work like that is how independent color is from the surface, and the force color has to transform what you see and therefore shift your perception. Color proposes many different possibilities for understanding the world, and it is a very direct medium, color. What is really important with the soil room for me is that I take something from the outside into the gallery. That kind of friction between the three-dimensional architectural setup and the unruly, almost unmathematical form of the soil and the canvas stuck in it, that was for me something very exciting. I wanted also to create a movement against the columns and the canvas where you don't really know, is it actually the canvas disappearing in it, is it coming out of it, and is the canvas almost like a receptor that absorbs all the movement that is coming towards that thing at the back. And there is a third element, which is that object that is cast in bronze, that is somehow also thrown against the entry. Color landing on that soil evokes so many different emotions. It could be rare earth, it could be a glow coming from within, it could be lit from somewhere else. It's very ambiguous, and you really have to be aware, quite active, to understand what that work is. And once you move through the space, you have little crumbles where you think you're the giant, and then you turn around and it looks like a different scale, and you're almost absorbed by the scenario, and I like this diversity of scale shift. So when I work in the studio, I work on all these different projects at the same time. Some are very young, some are older and more developed. And there's really a continuum from the canvas to an installed piece or to something multidimensional, even sculptural. And these overlap and they almost challenge one another. And I enjoy being able with painting to move swiftly across these different worlds that are normally so separated. I'm really exploring how things are interconnected, how they are interdependent, even though they are individual items. So I like this paradox of the connectedness at the same time as we are individuals. What I was so fascinated by having the opportunity to do the show is that I can bring these different strands together to the present moment, where they're actually intertwined and where they connect in a way that I couldn't see it connected before. When I'm painting, that's an ecology. The color, the time, the size, everything around me, my team, that is a field that is connecting. And of course, the color is my source of energy. It's the most direct thing I can think of. It's almost like the voice of a singer, and you hear the voice before you hear the lyrics. You know, it has such a strong, direct connection with you, with me, with everyone. That's my experience.